What up? What up? Welcome in everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. Uh, we do always start the show by being transparent, but like I said, it was going to be minimal NBA betting for me, and I don't think I've placed a bet since Tuesday or Wednesday, so not a whole lot to recap. And however, we now have meaningful basketball every single day, so will be a lot of action for myself. I've already made a play in the play-in tournament, a big play. Um, and I've already made some series action. So when it come, we will have a show tomorrow. I will have the early show just like this, and also be on later with Dutch, Babano, and Wham Bam. So we'll talk about the playing games tomorrow. But I did want to come in today and just talk about a little bit of early playoff series betting. So we will continue to talk about it throughout the week. We will make more moves, but let's get some initial looks here. See if we can while the lines are fresh before they start to move too much. So let me take a look at the comments before we do that. Boofer thinks he says his best bet is I'm gonna give Lakers as my best bet. What up, Jeff? Jeff also liking the Lakers looks like. UCabber says, did he change his start time to 10:35 so that he's just less late than normal? Give me a little bit of credit there. Glenn says it's a smart move. I I just I guess that's what you can call it. No, that Popeyes run will be after the show. After the show, we do Popeyes. What up, Dominic? Says I ate some cheese, so I'm running late. Not this morning. Hello, Miss Tasha. BJ liking the Warriors and the Pelicans tomorrow. He's ready for those already. He says Lakers don't want that Denver smoke tomorrow. he says he says he's gonna be homeless if the Warriors lose tomorrow. Now we all know to bet responsibly, man. But there are some good spots for tomorrow. I'll say that. We'll talk about them we'll talk about them tomorrow. What up, Justin? All right, let's get to a little bit. This show won't be too long. It'll be quick and easy. And I thought about recording it, but it's a lot better when we talk it out together with the chat. So this first one, Magic and Cavaliers, I will be honest. It's not one that I initially feel very strong about. Only thing I'll say is this: the Cavaliers are a team that I just don't trust very much. I think this is the last year we see Donovan Mitchell over there, and they need to change some things around to be successful. They've just shown me too much that I can't trust them. The Magic, we've talked about them all year long. I've had trouble trusting them too, just because they don't do a lot of the things that I like for teams to do well, which is shoot the three well. They do defend the three pretty solid. They're a very good defensive team, but not the best shooting. And in playoffs, where the floor shrinks, etc., that bothers me. It worries me. So the one thing I can say about this series is we probably will take a look at it game by game, but it's no way I can lay, minus 180, thinking the Cavaliers are just easily going to beat the Magic. I think the Magic can absolutely be competitive. It will, talking this out, it might not be the best matchup for the Magic. And I'll just say that because, if you're just looking on paper, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, the Magic, they do most of their damage in the paint. And those are not two guys that you want to see down there in the paint for, if that's where you score majority of your points. So because of that, I'm probably not going to be official here, but I'll lean Magic to at least be competitive in the series. The plus price or plus 1.5 games, however you think about it, or however you can bet it like that. That's how I lean. I thought about over 5.5 games, but those over 5.5s are pretty juiced. They're like 2-1 odds, and I didn't feel that strong about this one. So curious what you guys think. And I don't see too many comments, so maybe you guys didn't like this one too. PZ says, let's go on a mean playoff run. Absolutely. But Mitch. So we'll move over. The rest of the series are a little bit better. Do feel strong, more strong about them. But let's start here. I guess we're going in order from least strong to most strong. I guess that's how this show will go. Next, we'll go Suns and Timberwolves. And for this one, you have the T Wolves as a small favorite here. Suns, if I'm not mistaken, have beaten the T Wolves every game so far this season. And whenever you have a combination of Booker, KD, and Bill, it's especially dangerous in the playoffs because those are three guys who are experienced, three guys who are very capable of putting the ball in the basket versus anybody. And as good as the Timberwolves defense has been, I still think they'll have a little bit of trouble stopping all of them. At the same time, I do I do like I do like what I've seen from this Timberwolves team. I trust them to get stops, or at least I trust them to get more stops than I trust the Suns to get. And if I have to speak about offensive wise, I mean honestly, I'm a big fan of Anthony Edwards. I think he's the kind of player who could put the team on his back and just will them to a win. So push come to shove, if I'm playing this one, I would be rocking with the T Wolves, and it's a very short price if you can get involved. It makes me nervous, like I said, that the Suns have beaten them every game so far this year. But if I'm putting my money on it, that's just how I feel. Let's see how the chat is liking. I'll do some more digging, obviously as we get through the week. But this is just Monday morning. These games are not going to the weekend. My first initial thoughts are who I would prefer to go with, who I prefer to find a case to put my money on. Um, Tomorrow, going a little bit backwards, says Cavs talked last year about how bright lights were too much for them in the playoffs. He think that'll be the case for the Magic this year, and I could absolutely see that. That's a good point. Good point. Two good points from tomorrow here. Derek thinks Boofer. Derek thinks Phoenix takes care of Minnesota. Says Minnesota folds when it matters most. And this is rinse and repeat. Folds when it matters most. That's what he's trying to say there. Um, well, I already have tickets in my pocket saturated from before the season. I bet the Celtics plus 170 to win the East. Last I checked, they're like minus 210. Um, and for the West, I bet the Lakers didn't get the best price. I think I got like 8-1, and they're a lot higher than that right now. But we'll maybe talk about that. I didn't think about talking about it before the show, but after we get through these individual series, I'll maybe glance at the odds and give my opinions. How about that? All right. Devin says Suns in 6. And Boofer not a fan of Bill. Rick White likes the Suns in 6 as well. So not a whole lot of T Wolves love besides Peasy and myself. So just a lean for right now. What up, Anthony? What up, Cab? So if I'm playing, it would be the Minnesota side as far as the series is concerned. And we'll move right along to this one. Let's talk about this. Indiana and Milwaukee. You have the Pacers, and I'm not sure if this is even right anymore. I know it was moving because of injury news. Pacers are plus money for sure. Um, plus 120, plus 140. It was one of those two. I guess it was depending which book you shop at. But how I feel about this is uh, I'm not willing, and I don't think the Bucks should really be, favorites versus anybody. It should be like even, especially when you take away Giannis. Bucks have been very inconsistent. They haven't been playing good more than we've seen them play at the level that they need to play to be successful in the playoffs. And coaching. We know we do not trust the coach. So all of those reasons, I mean, we've seen this Pacers team already beat the Bucks 3 out of 4 times this season. Might even be one more that I'm missing. Um, if that in-season tournament was an extra one. But I've seen Hallie looking at his wrist, showing up Dame time. The Pacers, they're up and coming, and I think this could be a series where they get out of the first round. I have absolutely zero faith in the Bucks. It's no way I could lay with the Bucks and feel good about myself. So it's Pacers or nothing here. And as far as series props, I could see this being one where it goes over that 5.5 games. But again, you have to lay decent juice to make that bet. So just if I'm picking a winner, I'm rolling with the Pacers here. Absolutely Pacers. No way in hell am I putting my money on Milwaukee. I like this from Joe the Gambler. Says Pacers plus 1.5 on the series. I think that's a good bet. I think that can get to the window. Anthony looking to bet on Hallie. I don't know that the Bucks get up 3-1 on the Pacers saturated. I don't have confidence in them like that. Rick White says he has to wait and see what's up with the Freak for a series pick. I don't think he'll be playing game one. Uh, at least we know that. And I think you should take advantage now, but I understand if you want to wait. He says he leans the Bucks. Devin likes the Pacers in 5. Wow, he thinks the Pacers going to smoke them. PG says Bucks in 6. Big question. Can the Pacers get stops? I just don't see the Bucks rolling over to this team who has no prior postseason success. I hear you. I get it. I don't know that I trust the Bucks to get stops either. And all I can say is we've seen these teams match up a lot of times this year. Pacers have gotten the best of them. So I get it. We don't really want to trust the Pacers defense too much. But if I'm picking in this series, it's a one-way ticket. Absolutely. Pacers. Yeah, see Casey saying the same thing. Can the Bucks get stops? I don't trust them for anything. I absolutely not. So Pacers here for myself. And let's move on over. We'll go last one that we have lines for right now. Mavs and Clippers. And Mavs, it's interesting. The Mavs are underdogs in game one by 2 points. Mavs are short favorites on the series, minus 115. Clippers also have a superstar a little bit banged up over there. What is it? Kawhi. He's missed 8 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm looking. They say they're hopeful he's going to play. I'll just say this. I have to start like this. And you guys who've been around for a long time, you guys know. Clippers are going to clip for one. That's just how I view this team. I'll tell you a couple reasons why they're untrustworthy. Number one, somebody's always unhealthy. It's too many guys with how do you call it? With injury, blanking out on the word I'm trying to use, but they get injured all the time, is what I'm trying to say. Kawhi, he's one. Paul George, he's another. Westbrook. And then you got guys like Harden who have consistently shown that you can't trust him in the playoffs, especially the more that a series goes on. He will absolutely quit on your team. Westbrook, you can call me biased. I'll say I'm probably biased, but for a good reason. I've said it a while ago, a long time ago, and I'll continue to say it. Westbrook's play style does not translate to postseason success, and you've seen it time and time again. Ever since he's split up with KD, um, he's been bounced in the first round 5 out of the 6 playoff series he's played. So it's a lot of negatives for this Clippers team. You also had Harden, who was he was just banged up too, dealing with a foot injury. It's a lot of negatives for this Clippers team. Not a whole lot of negatives for this Mavs team. I mean, it's the opposite for them. They've been balling ever since they made it. Ever since they made those trades for Gafford and PJ Washington. Their defense has gotten a lot better. And I mean, they just won 16 out of 18 games before they decided to rest Luca and Kyrie. So I think you're getting the hotter team, the more healthy team, the best player on the court, a good coach. I think things look good for the Mavericks in this series. And Kawhi, I mean, knee inflammation, he could have enough rest to where he comes back, but he could potentially not be there, or he could come back and re-flare up. Anything could happen as far as that nature. I think the Mavs are the better pick in this series as far as if you're picking somebody to win. Let's see if you guys agree with me. Injury prone, yes, Boofer. That's what I was trying to say. Injury prone. Let's see. What do you guys like in here? Tasha loves the Mavs. Appreciate you, Devin. Says hit that like. Trying to get plus 100. Appreciate that. Tomorrow got the Mavs to win the series plus 110. Nice work on that. Peasy says Mavs or nothing. In agreement there. Boofer says it's got to be Dallas, but they'll take all 7. We shall see. Joe says me and some of the guys in the chat took Mavs series plus 110. Nice work on that. Let's see. Let's see. What up, Raven Ron? Yeah, Val, says Harden already showed us who he is in the playoffs. Dallas all day. You already know. If you know, you know. Rick White having some trouble picking a series winner here. Gold Juice has me loading up on the Mavs. I got them plus 4,300 to win it all and 1,900 to win the Western Conference. We'll talk about conference winners a little bit after this since we brought it up. We might as well talk about it here. But I do think they could be live. Let's see. Addicted lawyer says Skee looked like he baked this morning. Probably every morning. Joe the Gambler says Westbrook's play style doesn't translate to the regular season or playoffs. You're being generous. And Justin agrees he's definitely going to be on the Mavericks. So I like that we all are pretty much matching up here. And let me see if I can get a banner here since we decided we're going to also talk about conference. I can't spell all of a sudden. There we go. Conference. Boom. So we'll put that up there now. And let me bear with me. Like I said, I didn't plan to come and talk too long or talk about the conference, but I do think it's something that we should do. So appreciate you guys bringing that up. Let me just bring up how it's broken down as far as the bracket. So bear with me. NBA 2024 playoff bracket. And also, let me just pull up the lines here. Lines and the bracket. That's what I would like to see in front of me. All right, got that. Now let's get the lines for conference winners. We'll use, for the sake of this show, we will use Superbook. Boom. NBA conferences. Boom. Okay. So let's take a look. So first of all, like I said before the season started, I already have 2 tickets in my pocket. Celtics plus 170 to win the East, and I have Lakers like plus 800 to win the West. As far as not just throwing those out and just trying to make a wager from here. That's how we'll look at it. From the West, who has the best chance at a good price? And I'll say this: the first thing that stands out to me is the top of the bracket looks like the route you would want to go versus the bottom. I would not want to be facing Denver. I would not really want to be facing the Timberwolves. So when I think like this, and I think the Timberwolves or Denver could beat each other, honestly. Um, and that's something you would want. I would want to avoid that side. So my first thought here is somebody mentioned the Mavericks. If we're liking them to win this first series versus the Clippers, they're either going to get OKC or somebody from the play-in who's been, playing a hell of a lot of games lately in Golden State or the Lakers, which they could lose to, but they've also been playing better basketball than all those teams. Warriors have been playing good basketball too, but they'll have the rest advantage if it was one of those teams as far as games played lately, and they can beat OKC. I don't view OKC as a juggernaut 1 seed. So I think the Mavericks are live. Let me look at the price you would get. Best price I see right now, or like I said, for the sake of the show, uh we're using Superbook just because I can't flip back and forth and be efficient doing the show. So plus 700 is what you're getting for the Mavericks. I think they are live. Absolutely. I would throw out the Clippers. Even if the Clippers were to beat the Mavericks, I do not have faith in them. OKC, I just think they're too young and inexperienced. So if it's not the Mavericks, I would say whoever makes that 8 seed, because whoever makes the 8 seed, I think they have a shot to beat OKC. Like I said, I don't think OKC is a number one juggernaut. So I'll just take a look at these teams. that are in the plan. Pelicans plus 3,000 currently. Warriors same price. Lakers plus 1,600, and Kings plus 8,000. So if the Warriors were to make it, I think they would be very live to beat the Thunder in advance, and they will still have a chance to beat the Mavericks. The Lakers, same can be said for them. The Kings, I don't think they have enough right now, especially with the injuries that just happened to them. I might throw them out. I don't think they have a shot to win. So Pelicans, they could beat the Thunder too. So I think whoever makes that 8 spot, either them or the Mavericks, are who I would take to win the Western Conference. Um, that's kind of how I'm viewing it right now, as far as who I think can actually do it and getting a decent price. That's how I would approach it. Early looks on the East. Well, actually, let's look at the chat really quick before we move over to the East. Um, let's see, some guys liking the Suns. Tasha says Lakers now winning the West. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit already. I agree with you, Ripper. I think any team definitely has a chance to beat them. All right, so we can keep going. There are no games today, Jeff. Say review today's games. There are no games today. I'm not sure what games you would want to review. No teams are playing today. Um, for the Eastern Conference, who would I be taking? Yeah, you would have to look up the best price for the Mavs. I'm like I said, I'm using one book for the show, and I'm going back and forth with tabs. I can't sign into every book and do that right now. Looking at the East, and let me just glance at these prices. So the Celtics are currently minus 200. So I'm happy with my plus 170 ticket. I wouldn't be laying 2-1 for the Celtics to win. So if we have to throw them out, like I do think the Celtics will win. I do. I honestly really do. But if we have to throw them out because the price is not there, who else actually has a chance? And I would say we have to throw the Bucks out. The Bucks are absolutely untrustworthy. Whether it's the coach, whether it's how the players been playing, not being able to play defense, just it cannot be the Bucks. The Cavaliers, we cannot trust either. The Knicks, a lot of people like the Knicks, but I'll say this: the Knicks are going to be burnt out. Tibbs, he's known for running his guys into the ground. Like, how many games have we seen Josh Hart play the whole entire game, sit for like maybe 1 minute? At some point, the Knicks are going to run out of gas, and that might be the thing that does them in. So for that reason, I'm not considering the Knicks. Just looking at who's remaining, there's only, I'll say this. I want to say the 76ers can have a chance, but I can't because I don't trust them to stay healthy. And B just has history of being injury prone. Um, and I can't trust them to get through an entire series. And if Embiid is banged up and hurt, they have no chance. So that leaves me with the Heat. The Heat at 16-1. That would be who I'm looking at here in the Eastern Conference. Um, I know they haven't looked great all year, but isn't that what we've seen from the Miami Heat over the past few years? They look mediocre all season long. They get to the playoffs and they turn it up. They have a great coach. They have players we can trust, like playoff Jimmy, and guys who've been there, guys who've already been to the finals. So just being that experience, I would I would be thinking that the Heat are worth the best shot right now outside of the Celtics at 16-1. First comment I see is, "Oh no, S dot can't hear this." Let's see. Let's take a look at a couple more. Scroll up here. Here we go. Boston said, Jeff says Boston or Knicks tomorrow. Also liking those Knicks. There's S dot says Heat will easily win on Wednesday. Buy the futures now on the Heat. Something that we can agree on. I can't endorse. Think the Heat have a shot for sure. Glenn Walker says Pacers or Sixers. A lot of people liking those Knicks. Tasha likes the Sixers. Yeah, Embiid, just can't trust Embiid. That's just how I feel. BJ says Knicks can give Celtics problems if they play a 7-game series. They'll probably be exhausted by that 7 game. Let me see. Yeah, I'm sure Esty did love to hear that. Glenn says, why not the Pacers for the price? Didn't they prove they could hang with the Celtics? I don't you have to get stops consistently to win. And I just don't trust them to do that. That's what it boils down to me. Maybe they can win this first series, but after that, like you're gonna have to consistently get stops. They're just not a team I trust to do that. That's what it is, Glenn. Ripper says Heat could play Boston first round. I mean, that's one of the few teams I'm worried about for the Celtics is just the Heat. Honestly, the Heat have shown that they can compete with the Celtics. Heat more than capable. Tyler says, "Come on, Skee, give us another reason to not like the Knicks besides minutes." I don't think they're the best team in the East. I mean, if we're just looking at it like that, they might match up versus some teams, but I don't think they're better than the Celtics, and I'm not sure that they can beat the Heat. I think that both of those other teams are better coached than them. Coaching matters in playoffs, and I think that the other team's best players will show up more than the Knicks' best players. And I love Jalen Brunson, but that's just what it is. I don't hate the Knicks, but that's just my opinion right there. Let's see some more comments really quick. Rick White says Knicks' depth is a problem. So that's how I'm feeling currently. We'll continue to talk throughout the week. I believe we'll see. We should have Kyle here tomorrow. We'll have Dutch. We'll have Ian. We'll have Wham, etc. Tomorrow and on Thursday, and then we'll talk to Ravino. We'll try to talk to a few different people throughout the week. Try to get some different opinions on all of these things. But I wanted to just drop in and let you guys know how I was feeling right now. So I think that's all we have to talk about currently. Um, we'll give a best bet for the show. We'll do that. If you guys have a best bet, go ahead and drop it. But before I give my best bet, I'll let you guys know. Um, all of my work is found at Wager Talk. If you want to get my bets as soon as I place them, and follow every single bet that I make, it's at wagertalk.com, and the link is in the description. I have made a 5% best bet for the play-in tournament, and it's already been up and available since yesterday. So last year in the playoffs, I gained 134.7 units. There's no guarantee that I'll have that massive of a year this year. But like I said in the tweet I put out, it's absolutely guaranteed that I'll put in the work and I will try my hardest and my best to do that. So all of my work at Wager Talk. And best bet for the show, we will leave with Mavericks to win that series. Minus 115 was the best number that I saw before I came on the show. I talked about a lot of reasons why to like the Mavericks and how they've been playing, and I've talked about reasons not to like the Clippers. So, best bet for me for the show, Mavericks to win that series minus 115. We have some guys in the chat sharing. Justin likes the Astros. PZ likes the Warriors. No problem, Jeff. Derek likes Cincinnati plus 125 versus Seattle. I think that's baseball. Rick White going with the Islanders. And Joshua likes Phillies, Rockies over. Ronell giving you guys some NHL with Nashville and Pittsburgh under 6.5 goals. So if you're watching on the replay, you can still see the comments and the best bets coming in. You just go to where it says comments, you scroll over, you click live chat replay, and you can see it. It'll populate just like you're watching the show live. So appreciate you guys. Best chat in the game. Best of luck if you tell. Good luck, everybody, on all your action. And I will catch y'all tomorrow.